Hi, I'm Carol Berglund and welcome to my YouTube channel. I do acrylic pour paintings on this channel. I do other paintings as well, but this YouTube channel is specifically for acrylic pour paintings. Please watch, you might find it very informative and fun. And if you like what you see, give me a like, share it, and subscribe. It's free. Hi, Carol Berglund here with Carol's Art Creations. So this is the painting now that it's dried, and it's so cool. Every way you turn this, you can see such different things in it. Like right here, I see like a watery wave reflecting the copper down through the water. This looked more like a mountain when it first poured. It did dry with more cells, so it's like a mountain covering. Down here, this looks like a lagoon with rocks around it and darker water swirling around where this is protected. And it just looks, oh, sorry, I'm turning my camera. But when you turn this picture, so now I see like a Jesus with his sandaled feet holding a torch and a woman coming before, and then the ascension into heaven. And when I turn it this way, excuse me, I can see like a little cat dragon flying in, and the waves are crashing up against or flowing against this rock, again with the lagoon pool and this darker water down here. And when I turn it completely upside down, oops, over here, where is she? I see a mermaid in this painting somewhere. Oh, here, I see a mermaid with her tail coming down. And so this picture really has a lot of different stories. And amazingly, this art, sometimes you like it turned a certain orientation, but every way I turn it, I see something different. Now, I haven't varnished this yet because you really have to let them cure, but this one's definitely going to be varnished. It's absolutely one of my favorite. I don't know how well you can see these cells that came up during the painting, but each of these places just kind of looks magical. And that gold did something wonderful. It just kind of bonded with the other colors. Like this orange, it kind of changed it to a bronzy color because it actually attached to the orange. So overall, I love this painting and it's absolutely my favorite. One of the challenges I have is coming up with names. So I'm going to ask you, the audience, help me name this painting. So help me name this painting. Definitely give this video a look. And if you like what you see, please like it, share it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's completely free and it would really help me out. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, Carol Berglund here. I'm going to do a pour for you tonight. This is a pour I attempted twice. You can kind of see the impression where I didn't like this pour, so I hosed it off. I tried again. I didn't like it. I hosed it off. So I'm back for a third time, and I think three's a charm. Anyway, got my canvas here. It is, this is an 18 by 24? 18 by 24. Oops, that might be wrong. No, it's 16 by 20. And so that's 40.6 centimeters times 50.8 centimeters. And tonight I've got several color combinations I'm going to try. I got my Payne's Gray. It's mixed up using the Saks True Flow Heavy Body Acrylic White, Black, Phthalo Blue, Ultramarine Blue. And it's mixed 2-to-1 Floetrol with an ounce of Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. They're all mixed with 2-to-1 Liquitex Gloss Medium Varnish and Floetrol. Actually, it's the Floetrol that's 2-to-1 and just about an ounce of the gloss varnish. And so this is Emerald, again by the Saks. This is Chrome Yellow. This is Caribbean. It is apple barrel paint, so it is different than the Saks. And then this is Chrome Orange. And so all of these, with the exception of my metallic here, which is Deco Art Metallics, 24 karat gold. And I do have a brown. This is Burnt Umber. Again, it's the Saks True Flow Heavy Body Acrylic. I'm not going to use anywhere near this much because don't use a whole lot of brown. It can be great for an accent color, but you have to be careful with it because we always say we don't want to make mud. This is the color of mud. But anyway, I'm going to get started here. This is my base coat, and this is actually house paint. It's the Glidden Satin. It's an interior paint. To this, I've mixed it 1-to-1 with Floetrol. Have put in about a quarter of a cup of GAC 800. It's a product to prevent the crazing. And then I did put in some of the Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. About a quarter of a cup of that for my nice base. So I am going to coat this is just a big mayonnaise jar. So make it up in a quantity so I won't have to keep making it so much. So I'm going to put on my gloves before I get going. I'm trying to talk a little bit faster and speed up my record time. I've kind of heard back that my videos are long and I tend to ramble. It's probably true. So I'm not sure exactly what kind of pour I want to do. I think I'm just going to lean toward a straight pour. Some of my most beautiful artwork are straight pours. I am not one that likes to do much of the swipes. They're okay and they're beautiful. And this is something about it that just doesn't appeal to me as much. And maybe I just need to do a few more of them. So I'll put a puddle of this down. And I'll tilt it around. And this just basically sets a nice coat down so that your other paints can slide on them. I don't have any silicone in my paints this evening. But if you do have silicone, it is good to use a base coat because if your silicone hits the canvas first, wherever it hits the canvas at, the silicone does not want to stick. Canvas will reject it. And let me just spread this out with my little spreader. And so I think tonight I will just layer up a cup and pour it down and see if I can get something as beautiful as Eye of Nebula. Don't know if you saw that video. That was one of my better pours. And I had a shorter video that night. So I guess they say less is more. I guess that's true. Got my hair pulled up tonight because it's hard to get to your hairdresser. My area open, but they kind of close back down because of the virus, and the cases started to spike back up, so we're kind of dialing back a little bit, which I guess is okay, but I know it's a lot harder for some folks because They really had, you know, they're having a hard time being unemployed and having to meet all their responsibilities, and yet they're, you know, we're shutting down because of the virus. And well, I really hope that somebody up there in Washington in their infinite wisdom will take care of the people, because this is certainly not anyone's fault. I mean, no one, I don't think anyone made the virus. I think it just happens. It happens sometimes. These pandemics occur. So during this pandemic, although I am a real estate broker and I have done some sales, but I got into this art. It's a way to keep me busy. I love art. I love creating. And hopefully I can get more of a following. If you guys will just subscribe, that would be awesome. It's free, no obligation at all. If you enjoy this art, you should really check us out. There's several people doing this. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody kind of brings something new to the table. And I have got a little experience doing it now, but I mean, obviously people have been doing it for years, have got more than I do. This is truly fun, and I do believe this is a nice hobby and art that anyone can do, really. Just a little messy. Okay, so I got that down. So I'm going to layer up my cup. Start with just a little Payne's Gray. I'm going to try to make these thin layers and not go more than a cup, because really a cup is more than I need. I think you only need like 6.8 ounces to cover this canvas. And with the base coat down, that's a couple ounces right there. So I'm just going to try to use this a little sparingly. I'll go in with my Payne's Gray I created. And a little bit of green. Got to be careful that green, it likes to take over. I'm making these layers nice and thin with just stripes. So I do want to have at least 2 layers so that I can get that multi-layer going. Stir this gold just a bit. I always like to stir up my metallics. These bottles are great because you just shake them. And if you ever watch how anyone mixes paint, it's quite a task to sit and stir and mix paint. And I found a process where I put the stuff together in my bottle here. You give it a really good shake. And so, just like a martini, I like mine shaken, not stirred. Simply because it's easier and quicker. I'm going to put a little bit of the white in here. I'm going to use some of the same house paint. And gee, I better hope I'm a good pourer and careful with this big old jug. Slowly. Just got to make sure you don't tip it too much over. That's good. Put that out way there. Go for my Caribbean, which is a nice turquoise. And I so love this color, and I think the reason I love it so much is because you see people say turquoise, and sometimes it's a darker blue, and sometimes it's more green. I think this one is just perfect, right in between. And let's give this some orange. Oh, I was going to put my brown in before my orange. Yikes. I'm going to pour just a little bit of this brown in. Ooh, that brown's heavy, sinking. And I'm going to put a little more orange on top of it. Because I meant to go brown then orange. Because I didn't want the brown to touch the Payne's gray. Although it kind of mixes up, I do want to keep them a little separate. And make this layer a little bit thicker. Let's see how much paint I've got. Okay. I don't even have a quarter of a cup yet, so I'm good. Let's see if I can remember the order. Green. Yellow. Gold. A little more gold. I really want the gold to show up. My last pours, the gold kept not showing up the way I wanted, so I'm going to put a little extra in. And I'm going to save some because if it don't show up, I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to mark up this painting. I want my gold. So a little bit of the white. And this white is the satin white, and anything that's satin enamels or satin tends to give us a reaction of that blooming, cloudy effect. And I am gonna go with, so I'll do it again, I'll do just a smidge of orange. And I'm gonna get a stick for this brown so I can drizzle it so it won't be so heavy. It does feel a little bit heavier. Don't know if the camera angle's picking this up, but you can see that drizzling this off of the stick is just a thin little layer coming down, so you don't have to worry about glops falling in when you're pouring. I'm actually going to put just a wee bit more. And I'm going to cap this up. I think I'm going to be done with this color. It's pretty when used right. But when used wrong, it can really turn your painting. Okay. Did I go out of sequence here? I don't know. Anyway, a little more orange. And my Payne's gray. Green. Yellow. A little more white. Done with the white. Some of this falling off my stick looks like it's sinking just a wee bit. Probably had too much on the end there. Boy, that's such a beautiful color, that 24 karat gold. Americana Decor Metallics. But the key is you've got to get it to where your consistencies are about even. Let's see, what did I do after the gold? Don't know. Guess I'll put a little yellow and then turquoise. And you don't have to be exact mixing it up. See, I had these laid out in order, but as I used them, I didn't put them back in order. So that kind of needs to be. See how much paint that I have. I need at least another ounce of paint. So, put a little more orange. And I think a little more gold. And you need to get in a habit of wiping these containers, because what you don't want is you don't want dry paint around the top. Then it falls into your paint. Then when you pour it, you don't always see it. It gets into painting and it can dry and see a bump. There's something underneath the paint, but it's too late to remove it. Remove it if you see it when it's wet. So let's see what I got there. I do think I'm going to do just a smidge more white. And then some of the Payne's gray. Ooh, poured that a little too heavy. It sunk a wee bit. I wonder what that's going to give us. I guess we will find out. Okay. All right. I'm sitting at 6 ounces. You really only need 6.8. I've got a base coat down, so I'm good to go. And I'm going to pour this. I'm coming down a little bit closer to the canvas. So I don't want my colors to mix too much. I know they're already going to a little bit. I'm just trying to be patient and letting this pour out. It gets real slowly down when we get to the end of the cup. Come on. And we'll take the last little bit and ring it around and catch it. Okay. Look at that cup. Colorful, pretty. It's kind of migrating that way. I'm going to bring it back just a wee bit. You really don't want to tilt too soon. I just tilted to kind of bring it back this way so it won't meander off. Now, if you've watched these videos before, this is the point where we say don't touch it. Let it sit. And the reason why is you want to let it sit, let the colors kind of develop, let the cells come up underneath. I can start seeing some action here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this will net us a good pour. See right here, there's a difference in the paint consistencies. I hope that's not going to be a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause you. I'm going to let this rest. And you heard me say, just like cooking, you pull meat out of the oven, you let it rest. You marinate something, you let it sit so the flavors exchange. Same with the paint, you let it rest, let it sit so all the cells will develop. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and I'll be right back soon. Hang in there. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Hi, I'm back with you. So it's been maybe 3 minutes. I got me a drink, just water. Sparkling water. Okay, so I can see some things happening here. And it just lifted up. You can see the very edge of the rim, how it's kind of sealing up, and you can see some of the cells forming, the little dots. And so some people like to torch and then pour, which you can, or you can pour then torch. I think I will give it a quick torch just to pop some air bubbles. And if there are any cells, maybe heat it up, and then when I tilt, it'll help them form. Okay, so I can see little things that popped up, air bubbles. Alrighty, this is interesting, this wobble here. Probably some of my paints are thin, so they're not holding that nice ring, rounded shape. So I probably got some paints that are thin. Although I try to get my consistency exact, when you're working with a metallic, it's always different. And even working with paints in the same brand, just the pigments are heavier. So, okay, let's do some tilting. I see some cloud-like formations happening there. I'm gonna go this way. I want to try to keep that little eye from breaking apart too much. So while I stretch it, I want to stretch it and then kind of bring it back. And do this a little slowly so I can keep my composition here. Because when you tilt and tilt too much, sometimes you can just wind up with a blob of color that kind of looks like nothing. Alrighty, let me bring this back. The tilting back and forth does open up any rings that were created, or more like lines. This white right here, that is that satin paint that creates that bubbly, cloudy effect. So I'm happy that some of the gold is really showing through. And I hope I don't lose too much gold here. I really don't want to. So I just placed this stick there to help me conserve some of the paint, because I don't want to pour too much of it off, and I definitely want to try to hang on to some of that gold. So we'll go over a little bit. That's cool. Wipe that off. Okay, just off. Let's see what that side looks like. Oh yeah, that looks fine. I'm just going to pop this on the corner real quick so I won't have to worry about it later. Okay. I'd really like to keep all this gold if possible. Bring this back. Well, it looks like I've lost some of my eye, but I still have a little bit of that ringing effect. It's looking pretty cool with it opening up. I have seasonal allergies, and it's always so bad, especially with this COVID stuff, because when you're in the store, I can't help but cough or sneeze, and it's I had my mask on and I was in the store. I was really buying some paint, but I sneezed into my mask a couple hard times. I had a cloth mask on and it was like, ugh. Couldn't wait to get home and get that mask off and get it in the laundry. It's kind of a hassle, but I do think it is necessary. I actually retired from the CDC back in 2004. And I can tell you they're a good agency. They're not political, they're focused on public health, disease, epidemiology, Doctor Without Borders, humanitarian people who pledge their life to doctor and take care of other people. I think they deserve to be believed. But anyway, okay. So this is looking pretty cool so far. Let me turn this around a little bit. Some of the weight's still up here. I need to bring it down and maybe over a bit. You know, this was not what I was expecting tonight, but I am very pleased with what I am seeing so far. Did you hear that, John? I'm pleased. My husband, John. He thinks I'm unpleasable. I'm just, what's the word? Selective about what I like. Anyway, let's go over. I did take off some of that gold, but so I'm headed down this way. And I hope that as it keeps going this way, it will go slowly enough. The problem with your gold is the other paints roll over top of them. In some instances, that can give you these nice round pearl cells. But I have not succeeded with that with the pearl metallics. I did do it on one of my other paintings, but it was the turquoise color that was not a metallic. Wet the old whistle there. Come on, we're almost over. And yes, we are over. So, you know, you think you lost this gold, but what I'm seeing is this shimmer where the gold spread on top of the color and created this shimmer in some places. Looks beautiful. See, I really love this painting. This is awesome. And all I can tell you is that a painting either speaks to me or it doesn't. And it has to have a certain look, and I never know what that look is or exactly how to explain it. But this is just, it's got all this movement. It's got the dark and the light. I'm going to try to lift this up so you can see a little bit better. If the camera can pick this up. Down here in the sand, I'm getting some white cloudy cells come up, but don't know if you can see that real fine gold shimmer on the top of those colors. The light hits it just right, it changes it. Just beautiful, beautiful gold. It's also blended with the other colors and given them like a gold essence shimmer. So, yay. And the brown is just giving the right pops. It hasn't taken over or made mud. So, yay. This is that blended gold over the brown and the green. And then here's some brown in the Payne's gray. And the Payne's gray, just with a touch of brown. And then the brown, oh, this is really pretty. Brown can be beautiful when done right, and this one is done right. I have to brag, it's done right. So, yay. Let's fix up my corners here. One of the biggest challenges is coming up with names for all your paintings. Like, I need help with names because I make so many paintings. It's like, okay, what am I going to name this guy? So I am thrilled with this. Thrilled. I'm not overly emotional where, like, a lot of the female artists get, which good for them. I'm just not wired that way. But trust me, this is singing to my soul. It is just, it's going to be one of my new favorites. Because, wow. I'm glad I went ahead and tilted it off, even though I lost some of the outer bands of gold. But this blended with the orange, and it looks so coppery. Maybe a pinch of the brown with the orange just right, but wow. What a beautiful blend that is. Let's pick up some of this and finish off my corners. So, this is a keeper. 3's a charm. Did you hear that, John? John's my third husband. And he's a charm. Absolutely believe in 3's a charm. So don't give up if you're at number 2 and looking dismayed. 3's a charm. I am so happy with this painting. Wow. So maybe when I post this video and put it up, I'll ask for somebody to name it. So let me scrape down my sides here. Okay, so I had a little mishap with my camera there, which is frequent, too frequent, but anyway. So this is the painting after my camera blipped out on me. I took a moment and I torched it. And you definitely see a little more cells coming up. But this could dry about the same or it could change dramatically. You just don't know. But I'm absolutely loving this piece. I see so many different things in it. And I'll talk about that once we come back. I'll show you the dried results probably 3 or 4 days from now. Anyway, thank you for being with me with this pour. I think it's cool. Let me know what you think, and maybe I'll get your help in helping me come up with a name. Take care. Bye-bye.